Mongoose Jake here with the first episode of a series that I plan to have as ongoing. And what it is going to be simply overlooked and underappreciated blasters. And I'm going to start out with one that is really definitely overlooked and, in my opinion, highly underappreciated. And it's the Dart Zone Havoc, sold under the Adventure Force brand at Walmart. It's $10. It comes with 2 clips, and that is right, this is a clip-fed harmonica-style blaster. It is a pistol with a side handle that flips out to prime it. You just simply pull back, and the clip advances 1, feeds up through the blaster, and fires with some serious power. And I'm not going to fire it just yet. Well, actually I will, just for you to hear it. Dry firing it makes it sound like there's almost no air restriction, so I wouldn't recommend doing it very much. But for $10, you get the 2 clips, and they send you with enough darts of their super darts, that's the older Dart Zone darts, to fill both. And you get the blaster for $9.96, which to me, for what you're getting, is a heck of a buy. Now, I've used this a bit. I've had this one for over a year, and I find myself overlooking it. And every time I use it, I'm surprised, because this thing is one of those blasters from Dart Zone that packs a serious punch. I mean, this thing is up there with Busby levels of performance, which, coming from me, it says a lot. Busby blasters, say like, Abraham's M16, the Interceptor, the Tactical Storm, the Thermal Hunter, all of those, and like previous ones, the Champion, the Reaper, they were hitting around 80 feet per second stock. This exceeds that. Firing Nerf Elite darts, I actually tend to get a little over 80, into the mid 80s, and I'll cut and do a quick chronograph session to back up what I'm saying with fact. But these are going to be short videos, and I'm kind of going to go over a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a blaster that I think, for whatever reason, just keeps getting overlooked. For whatever, maybe it's overlooked because it's been out for a while, or it wasn't highly marketed, or whatever, which Dart Zone doesn't really market their stuff to death anyways. That's Nerf's forte. Overmarket everything, overhype it all, and then it underperforms, for the most part. I gotta pick on Nerf a little bit in that. But things like Busby and Dart Zone and X-Shot, they don't market their stuff out, and a lot of times, unless it's something truly revolutionary, like say, Busby's monorail. I love my monorail over there. I think it's one of the most groundbreaking blasters there was, and even it's faded to the back. And it'll probably end up in one of these episodes. But something like this Havoc, a $10, just under $10 if you don't count tax, under $10 blaster that comes with multiple clips, and yes, these are true clips, and it hits hard, stock, no modifications needed. Just buy this thing, hand it off to somebody. It's the perfect loaner blaster because you can hand them a couple of clips. These things are so small, you can just stuff them in a pocket. You don't have to carry tactical gear. Heck, this is what I do with it when I use it. I just stuff the extra one in my pocket. Dart Zone sells these on their website as spares, and I might buy some because I might actually start using this a little more, and I might even buy an extra one to throw in, or this one came out of my loaner bin because I knew this thing's a great loaner blaster. I may buy another one to put in there and have 2 of them so that maybe I can grab one. But it gets overlooked. I mean, I host Nerf Wars, and I'm not going to make claims that I'm doing highly competitive Nerf Wars here. No, it's just neighborhood Nerf Wars. You got people from everywhere from, under 10 years old all the way up to in their 50s, if my parents come play. And we all play. Neighbors come over, kids from the neighborhood come over, and it's always the Nerf Strife, it's always the Modulus, it's the Rapid Strikes, it's anything with a magazine in full auto, or flywheel, or anything that looks like it might be a sniper rifle. That's what everybody goes for. Stuff like this gets overlooked. And that's how I can kind of gauge a huge variety of people. If a 13-year-old comes over and grabs this, they're going to be surprised. But it always lays in the bottom of the bin. And then, you know, you go into the community on YouTube and whatnot, nobody talks about it. I have a feeling that people just haven't used it. I'll show you the chronograph real quick. Okay, we're going to take a look at the chronograph here. And I have Nerf Elites loaded into this clip. And the reason why is, well, that's the gold standard. Everybody knows how Elites perform. So we're going to take a look and fire a few shots. You're reading that right. That's 88.3. 84.5. 85.5. 87.6. 86.3. Okay, you just seen the chronograph. I didn't edit anything other than I'll edit the transition to and from moving the camera setup to over there and then back onto me, but that's a lot of performance out of a very cheap and very small package. And like I said, you get 2 clips, enough darts to fill them, and the blaster for 10 bucks. That's a primary worthy performance already. And to put in perspective, people are paying $25 for, let me grab my stock retaliator. Well, you pay $25 for a Nerf retaliator that's going to shoot maybe 70 feet per second. Mine on the chronograph puts out high 60s and will sometimes break over 70 to 71, 72. And okay, you got it. You take the air restrictor out, put a 7 kilogram spring. It's going to push up to the mid 80s, maybe 90, maybe. I've done enough retaliators and blasters of that type to understand that you can push up to 100 feet per second if you put an aftermarket breech and a 7 kilogram spring. That's not that big a deal. That's not a horribly difficult thing. New breech gets rid of the air restrictor, you know, worker breech. Now NF Strike sells them for under $3. And put a 7 kilogram spring, you can get 100 feet per second. But you still have to be willing to tear your blaster down. And add into the breech, the 7 kilogram spring, take out the locks, do all that. Well, you got a little time spent in your shop. You got another 20 bucks once you factor in shipping and whatnot. So you got $25 into this, and then another $20 or so into getting it to hit 90, 95 feet per second. I've got my full, it's behind me and down, a little off frame, my fully upgraded Recon Mark II. Same thing internally as a retaliator. I've got about $70 into it, maybe, in total. A little more once you include the worker stock. And this thing's not far off from its stock for 10 bucks. I mean, you've seen it. It's pushing mid to upper 80s for $10. So, yeah, again, this will be a little bit longer episode than some of them. It's a super easy blaster to use. You just pump, shoot, and you can advance it all the way through. Pull it out, refill it on the fly while you got another one going in. Drop that in real quick. Then you feed it on through and move on all the way. And there we go. The Dart Zone Havoc. 10 bucks at high 80s performance. 2 clips. You can buy extras on their website. I'll put a link to their website and you browse around the shop a little bit. Dart Zone and Busby are right up there at the tip top of my favorite brands. As far as springers go, which I'm a springers guy, flywheels are nice, but springers are my thing. But tell you what, overlooked blasters like this, like I said, this is going to be a reoccurring episode type series. This one's going to be the longest one probably out of all of them. But I'm going to do these once in a while. I just want to bring some blasters to light that maybe people aren't as familiar with and aren't seeing very often. But things like this is a gem. that's not talked about. Not ever. I don't ever see anybody use it. I don't ever hear of anybody talking about it. But for that kind of performance at that little of a price, you could buy a couple of them, hand them off to friends. I mean, just a few people who went out and having fun in the backyard. You know, this one, along with something like, say, the Busby Tactical Storm, which is only $16. These are blasters that you can just buy a few of to have friends or family just have fun with it, and way outperform a stock Retaliator, which I don't hate the Retaliator. I don't want people to think that. It's the gold standard. It works. It's just what everybody knows. So that's what I'm going to compare it to. So anything that's a Springer that's magazine or clip fed is going to get compared to it. And don't even bother comparing this thing to a Nerf pistol, because it slaughters them. But that's Dart Zone Havoc, a highly overlooked blaster that's extremely underrated. Packs a punch at a cheap price. And I think that should be the title of this thing. The Havoc packs a punch at a dirt cheap price. This is Mongoose Jake with my first episode of my Overlooked Blaster series. Stay tuned. I don't know yet just exactly how long it'll be before I decide to make another one, but this might be something I do every 2 or 3 weeks, because I got enough blasters that I think people are overlooking. I think I'm looking at another one right now from Dart Zone that I think people should know about, and it may be my next one. But I think it might be. I'm looking right at it right now in my loaner bin, and I think I might do that episode as my next one. So stay tuned. I'll do that I'll probably make it an every other week or every 3 week thing, at least once a month. But this is Mongoose Jake with the Dart Zone Havoc, signing out.